Hey there, Pisces. Welcome to your reading for the week of October 31st. Sorry, I'm using a new deck here and it's not really cooperating, but we are going to see what is going on in your general energies in this first row right here. I'm using the Trick or Treat Tarot, by the way, if you're wondering what deck this is. Next, I'm going to see what could be coming in for you that is unexpected. So that'll be in this row right here. Then we're going to see what if anything is coming towards you at this time. I would say big time changes. You have a lot of change cards here. You literally have two that literally say change on them. So definitely some changes, but let's see. And then at the end, we're going to look for any messages from your future self. And we'll just take both of these cards because why not, Pisces? But let's see here. It's interesting that in your general energies that this is in reverse. Obviously, I don't read any cards in reverse, but I definitely don't read oracle cards in reverse. But you have this flattery card and this rebellion card here. There's something about your strength here kind of coming up in like your personal strength. You literally have the strength card, but you also have the Queen of Wands as well. You know, Queen of Wands could say you're very attractive at this time, but, you know, I feel like you're kind of like ignoring anything. It's kind of weird that this came up in reverse like this. I feel like you're ignoring something, Pisces, or, you know, it's like I feel you're, you know, as far as love is concerned, you have the seduction card. It's weird. You have seduction. Queen of Wands is also a card of seduction as well. It is my card of seduction. But it's almost like it's something that you're ignoring. We go to the, this is Three of Pentacles to the Queen of Wands to the Queen of Pentacles. So as far as seduction is concerned, you even have the King of Pentacles up here. As far as love is concerned, I feel like you're looking for something secure. It's like seduction isn't enough for you here. And that's kind of like what's popping into my head. I feel the same for business and work with these two cards as well. I feel like if you're coming up with business ideas, I feel like you're not just rushing right into something. I feel like you're making sure that you're not just being, seduced by something that you think is a good idea. I kind of like this because normally, like I think us Pisces, we like overthink things, especially in work or business. We come up with an idea, then we start thinking about all the reasons it won't work. But this feels different to me. I feel like you're just being a little bit smarter, kind of thinking things through. You have this rebellion card, which is standing out to me as well. But it's like, what are you rebelling against? I don't know. I think Pisces, that we can be rebels. We can kind of like go against the grain. And you have the Chariot showing up here. So, I'm wondering if you're kind of like making some moves. And these moves are going to happen quickly. You have the Three of Pentacles, the Four of Swords, and the Chariot. Again, you go Chariot, Queen of Wands, Eight of Wands. Something moving really, really quickly. Something becoming very successful. Some of you could be moving or traveling, but as I've been saying for like the past, 3 years or something like that, it wouldn't surprise me if pretty much every single Pisces is moving, traveling multiple times over the next few years. It's just part of the astrology, I would say, and, it just makes sense to me. But the Chariot, normally the Chariot driver, he's leaving behind a city that is behind him, and so he's going somewhere new. And I definitely feel like you're making some moves. I feel like you're about to set yourself apart in work or business, probably in your whole entire life. But, really this is popping into my head as something financial because you go up to that Eight of Wands, then right next to it you have the Wheel of Fortune with the King of Pentacles. It's like whatever moves you're making, I feel are going to lead to long-term success. And that makes perfect sense to me. Again, for years you had Uranus in your in your second house. Uranus in the second in Aries is like literally the worst place that it possibly could be. And probably one of the most challenging places that it possibly could be, like having it in your second, because you can come up with ideas, for example, you can make a bunch of money and then lose it. It's like having Uranus in your second, which we did for, like 8 years, starting like that was from, obviously it's been in our third for the past few years, but before that, so you're going to have to think back like a decade. There could have been moments where you made a certain amount of money and then maybe something happens in your life that costs exactly that amount of money. I always use the example. I remember I was talking to someone once during the Pisces Uranus in the second house, and it's like they made like $1,300. They like desperately needed it, and so they made the $1,300, and then their car broke down, and it cost exactly like $1,300. It was like $1,278 or something like that. I don't remember the exact amount, but the funny thing is again, I think that's like the story of like the past decade for Pisces. It's like the story of the new decade is what we learned from that probably is, number one, to get better with our finances, but number two, to build things that are long-term, long-lasting, things that are going to like support us for a very long period of time. And that's clearly what you're charging towards here, especially financially. You have the Four Swords next. I would just say, like, don't rush anything. Take time to rest, relax, recover, all those things. We have Mars retrograde. So, with Mars retrograde, I always tell people, like, make sure to rest, relax, recover, do things to protect your health. You also have the Three of Pentacles here. And the Three of Pentacles is a card of teamwork. Three of Pentacles basically says, teamwork makes the dream work. Again, you have the King and Queen of Pentacles showing up here. So especially for those of you in business, could also be a Leo or a fire sign just in general. But in work or business, there could be a Leo, fire sign, Cancer, or an earth sign coming in for you that could be very helpful. And again, it is popping into my head as kind of like a, like a team member. I literally have the words team member popping into my head. If you want love, could also be love. Again, you have Leo, fire, Earth. Again, I don't really see love yet, but except for in your second row, which we're going to talk about in just a minute. With the Three of Pentacles, you have the Tower here. Something fell apart. Again, you have that Rebellion card. You have this Tower, obviously. So I feel like there was a Tower moment in your recent past. And, sometimes I think Tower moments motivate us to action or motivate us to be very successful. So, just know that if you went through a Tower moment recently or in the recent past, it's probably motivating you. I also feel like that could be talking, obviously, depending on when you're watching this. I'm posting it before the eclipse, right? Yes, I'm posting it the day before the eclipse, but if you're watching this after the eclipse, that could just be talking about the eclipse. With the Four of Swords, you have the Ace of Swords. What I think is super interesting is that he's only holding one sword on this Four of Swords right here. You can see it in his hand. So I kind of feel this is connected. There are three swords above his head, but you have the Ace of Swords here, which is like some sort of victory. I feel like some of you made a sacrifice or you cut something out of your life. This right here is a palm frond. Palm fronds in the tarot represent a sacrifice. This over here represents an olive branch. And olive branches can represent an offer of peace, of course, but, it can also represent abundance. And I feel like there's something has returned to balance in your life. It could just be you that has returned to balance after, some sort of sacrifice or overcoming something. With the Chariot, you have the Devil. Some of you could have moved away from someone who is toxic or a toxic situation with the Devil. But here's the other thing. When I get the Devil with something like the Chariot, especially with everything else that's going on here, sometimes I feel like the Devil can be root chakra energy. It is like the creative force, right? Creative energy. And the Devil to me says we need to like take that and then bring that energy up to our head so that we can manifest something in the real world. And I'm telling you right now, if you have any ideas, any plans, any goals, especially big ones, I feel like there's a lot of success here. It's kind of funny because it's like I'm noticing just looking around here the difference between like feeling like you're really good at something in your life, but also like feeling like you're not good enough. I think all successful people have that, Pisces. I think all successful, I think that is a sign of success. Like seeing big goals, kind of wanting to be better than anyone else. And I don't mean this in a cocky, jerky way. I just mean sometimes I think inside of us, we just know that we can be doing better, right? Plain and simple. It's not like, oh, I'm better than you, right? It's like, you can do better, but also like doubting it. And, I feel instead of looking at that as a weakness, maybe you need to look at it as a sign of success. It's definitely popping into my head. Next, what are we doing? Oh yeah, the unexpected. In the area of the unexpected, you have winds of change. It says your surroundings will undergo a transition. Definitely true. You have the seduction card. It says passion and romance await. For those of you that are looking for love, Queen of Wands, you show up here with the High Priestess, and you also have Leo. You've been getting Leo or a fire sign in your readings for quite a while, so wouldn't really surprise me if it was a fire sign. Could be a water sign. Could be any sign. You have basically everything here, so take it how it resonates. But again, I feel like you're no longer just jumping right into things here, Pisces. I feel like you're being a little bit more careful with the situations that you enter into. For others, I feel you're just actually more focused on change, creating positive, permanent change with the Wheel of Fortune and the King of Pentacles at the end. You have the High Priestess, the Queen of Wands, and the Strength card. I feel like you're very attractive at this time, for sure. You show up here as yourself, which puts you in a position of power and strength. I really feel this need to act on your intuition. It's like you feel things intuitively, and instead of thinking about it, I think you need to act on it. Because I kind of feel that your intuition is a little bit on fire right now. It always is. You're a Pisces, but there's something extra going on here. I feel like there's just like a little extra juice as far as your intuition is concerned. You have the Queen of Wands. And look, I mean, I literally feel that you could be that witch right there. I feel like you're mixing things together in a cauldron. You're brewing something up here, Pisces, that you're about to reveal to the world. And I feel like this is something that you've been working on for a very long time, or maybe the pieces of the puzzle are coming together. But I kind of feel like you're kind of putting something together here. And you have the Strength card. I would be patient, but I also feel like you're being supported here. Just in general, I kind of feel, for those of you that want love, I kind of feel like there is someone that you could be dealing with, or someone coming in for you that could be like very supportive. They're coming in, they're popping into my head as being more in like a support role, not so much, it just feels like less, I feel like saying less competitive. Maybe you were in competitive relationships in the past or something like that, and there's some sort of difference here. For others, this could be like a parent or someone that you know. That's kind of like supporting you. With the High Priestess, you have the Nine of Pentacles. See, I think a lot of you are really focusing on yourselves right now, Pisces. Even though there's love here, some of you might be focused on your own glow up. And here's the funny thing is like when you focus on yourself, you become more attractive. So, I think that sometimes people are like, you always do love readings. I'm like, first off, you need to clean out your ears and listen, because I like never do love readings, number one. Number two, it's like, yeah, if love shows up, I'm going to mention it, but it's like, you don't have to accept it into your life if you don't want it, number one. Number two, it's like, I'm calling you very attractive at this time, so like, get over yourself. I just complimented you, even if you don't want love. That doesn't mean you're going to stop being sexy, right? So, that's what I would say here with this energy. I feel like because you're doing your own thing, you are very attractive. Get over it. With the Queen of Wands, you have the Eight of Cups. Eight of Cups is like walking away from something that no longer serves you. We see this with the Tower. So I feel for some of you recently, maybe you had a Tower moment where you had to walk away from something. And funny enough, this is the only card in the tarot that has an eclipse on it. So I feel for a lot of you that really you're walking towards Nine of Cups, which is fulfillment and kind of like creative energy as well. With the Strength card, you have the Knight of Swords. Don't rush. I would say, like, don't rush anything at this time. I kind of feel this could be a lesson that you've learned, as well as like not to rush into situations, not to rush into anything, that you could be dealing with in your life, relationships, businesses, and otherwise. Although, again, I do feel like something is moving very, very quickly for you here, Pisces, but it's probably really honestly something you've been working on for a long time. So you're not really, maybe it looks like you're rushing, but you're really not. Next, in the area of what's coming towards you, you have the Change card, this Teeth card. It says control change. You also have this relocation card. It says house on it. So some of you could be relocating or moving, obviously. And you have that Winds of Change card. You have this Change card. Clearly, there is a major change coming in for you here. And I feel it's going to be kind of beneficial for you. I feel like you've been through something here, Pisces. You have the Six of Swords. Six of Swords can be a rite of passage, which, a rite of passage can represent going through something challenging, but we always get some sort of reward at the end of a rite of passage. So you have the Eight of Wands, the Six of Swords, and the Queen of Pentacles. Again, something is moving very, very quickly for you here, or something's about to pick up, Pisces, but, really, I feel it's because you've earned it. It's like, it's kind of funny because it's like popping into my head that, pretty much if you go and look at any like gigantic YouTube channel that exist, it's like pretty much every single one I've noticed, if you look at their videos, they like blow up at like 7 years. It's like every single one I've ever looked at, it's like 7 years, they blow up, they explode, right? As far as like views and all this other stuff, maybe it takes 7 years. Some people, of course, it's like 5 years, some people do it in less, but it's like the majority I've noticed, it's like 7 years. And I kind of feel that here, where it's like if you've been doing something for a long time, I'm not saying it's YouTube, it could be, but it could be anything else. I feel like you're about to blow up. I feel like you're about to become like very successful. You have the Six of Swords here, and this is probably why, because you went through something. I feel for some of you that there's like a celebration coming in after a difficult period of time as well with the Six of Swords. So it's like you've been through a difficult period of time, and this is about to, there's about to be some sort of change here. You also have the Queen of Pentacles, So if you want love, I do feel that there could actually be a Queen of Pentacles coming towards you. And again, I'm not talking about gender here. Could be any gender. Could also be a King of Pentacles because you have that here as well. I just think that what's coming towards you could be a divine counterpart. I feel like this person, like, they're not coming in right away. Like, this to me looks more slow, more methodical, not rushing in. There is a difference here based off of, like, what you have experienced in past relationships. Maybe everyone in the past was, like, rushy, you know, trying to rush into your life. This person's much more patient, I feel. Like, a little bit slower, but in a good way. If you don't want love, and even if you do, I feel your finances are about to improve. And it would make sense. Again, November is really good for you, Pisces, as far as finances are concerned, especially if you put the work in. With the Eight of Wands, you have you showing up, King of Cups. So I feel like you're just in a very strong position. Funny enough, the King of Cups is also a clue card for me that I call the home. To me, it can represent a move, moving, traveling, you know, all those things. Eight of Wands, moving, traveling, Chariot. Like, are you kidding? So some of you could be moving or traveling. With the Six of Swords, you have the Wheel of Fortune. You have the Wheel of Fortune twice. There is a major change in your fortunes here. I'm not trying to be clickbaity or anything, but, I mean, look at the cards. Wheel of Fortune twice. Really good reading. So, love it. With the Queen of Pentacles, you have the Queen of Swords here. For some of you, I feel like you've cut someone out. Look at, I mean, Queen of Swords, she has her back to this Knight of Swords and the Devil. I would be careful if you don't want someone to return back from the past here, Pisces, by the way. You know, because she has her back to the past, and she's focusing on celebrations over here. Some people do read the Three of Cups as a person returning from the past, and you do have the Wheel of Fortune twice as well. So if you don't want to repeat something, then, you know, maybe some blocking needs to happen here. But I also feel like you just see things clearly. Like, you see the situations in your life that are going to lead to happiness, success, joy, like all of those things. So that's kind of like what I'm getting here. Next, what are we doing again? Oh yeah, messages from your future self. You have this Eagle card. It says triumph over obstacles. And you have this Nest card, and it says an emotionally secure, loving family is important to you. So some of you could be creating like an emotionally secure, happy, loving family, of course. But I also feel like there's a lot of success coming in for you, even if you don't want love, like I said, with that Nest card. Clearly, I really don't see much in the way of love in this last row. I feel like your future self is encouraging you to not give up. You know, I think that the eagle, you know, the whole point of the eagle, like even the totem meaning of eagles, is that they can only see just so far. They can't see around the entire curve of the earth, right? They can only see so far into the distance. It kind of says, like, you know, they're very successful. They can fly very high, but even they don't know what's coming in the future. So even if you don't feel like things are going to be successful, I feel like you have no clue what's coming in around the corner, you know, around the bend. And I feel it's going to be really good for you. You have the Wheel of Fortune, the King of Pentacles came out together, the Fool, and the Three of Cups. I feel like your future self wants you to take control of your destiny. Again, we control the Wheel of Fortune with our vibrations. We can focus on being positive or negative, and it's your choice. The King of Pentacles, I like the King of Pentacles, especially if it's a person entering into your life. Could be a Scorpio coming in for some of you. Could also be an Earth sign coming in for some of you. But as far as your own personal energy is concerned, you know, I feel like the King of Pentacles is asking you to stop playing it safe. You know, I feel like it's saying that you have some ideas. I know, Pisces, by looking at this, that you have some ideas that might be a little bit out there. I'm like literally looking at that Queen of Wands. She has that cauldron in front of her. It's not like accurate tarot, but intuitively, I use this deck for a reason, not just because it's Halloween. And, you know, what I would say here is that I feel like you're mixing something together here, or you're kind of like brewing up some ideas, but it's like maybe these ideas have never been done before. I would do it anyway. So, you know, I would like try your crazy ideas. You have the Fool here. Take the leap of faith, right? Take the risk. It's also funny that on the Queen of Wands, you have a black cat. On this Fool, there's a black cat right here. I literally feel it saying, take a risk on the things that you are brewing up. Take a risk on the things that you have been, you know, planning on doing. And look, are you kidding me? There's a cauldron with people celebrating around it. So I feel like your outcome is like success. I feel like your future self wants you to know that whatever you've been kind of, you know, imagining and planning and whatever you've been kind of thinking about for a long time, you're about to be very successful here, Pisces. With the Wheel of Fortune and the King of Pentacles, you have the Knight of Pentacles. I told you that this person was slow. If it's a person, you know, if it's love, this person could be part of your destiny. It could be an Aquarius, Scorpio, Taurus, or a Leo. You have the Wheel of Fortune twice, which again, could be one of the fixed signs. Could also be a Capricorn as well, Wheel of Fortune. The devil is what I was talking about here. But, again, maybe a little bit slow, but this is like someone who wants to plant seeds. I feel like this person really wants to put in the work if it's love. Like they actually want to do things to make it work. With the Fool card, you have the Ten of Cups, fortune after difficulty. I feel like you could take a risk. If you're looking for new love, I feel like this is saying take the risk. This situation, for some of you, I feel like you already have taken a risk. So, I feel it's totally worth it. Might be moving a little bit slow for you, but, whatever. Take how it resonates. For others, again, I feel like your happily ever after is coming in. And again, it's based off of something that you've been brewing up for a long time. With the Three of Cups, you have the Seven of Cups. Stay focused. What did I say earlier? I said something earlier about Pisces, like thinking the worst, right? So I feel like you need to get rid of that side of thinking. I think you need to think like, oh, I totally deserve all these things that I'm accomplishing, right? I would get away from that Seven of Cups energy. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure that I've said this to you recently, that you need to kind of like let go of that Seven of Cups, that like Seven of Cups energy, basically. I'm going to pull 3 yes-no questions, by the way. I'm going to call them yes-no maybe, so why not? You have 1, 2, 3. So feel free to pause this reading is what I'm trying to spit out here. If you want to have 3 questions, 1, 2, 3, and pause it or forever hold your peace. For question number 1, you have the 4 cups. I would say no. Intuitively, I feel no. I read intuitively, so I'd say no. For question number 2, yes, you have the Ace of Swords. Definitely a victory coming in for you here, Pisces. And for question number 3, you have the 9 of Wands. I would say yes. Don't give up. Like, look, there's like that treasure that's being guarded by these wands. So I would say yes. But this looks pretty good. Pretty interesting, Pisces. So thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. Make sure to watch your Sun, Moon, and Rising for a full picture of what's going on for you at this time. But thank you, and definitely enjoy your week.